right? Black's knight has just captured white bishop. Knight captures on b3. So, in other words, it was something like this, right? Position looks something like that. Jackson, can I get your attention? You might want to set your chessboard up to my position. We're looking at it from white's point of view. Okay. 3 in older script notation, we would say knight captures bishop, because I think it's only knight captures bishop on the board. And the clue is indicating which way should white capture the knight back. A standard principle suggests capturing toward the center. In other words, you take this A pawn here, Jackson, this A pawn, and capture the knight this way. You're capturing toward the center. Center is D4, D5, E4, A5, and D4 center goes game. That's standard practice amongst grandmasters. But it says instead of capturing the other way, which would be the C pawn, Jackson, C pawn capture knight. That'd be the way you normally not do it. And we should talk about that for a moment. Why is A capture on B3 usually a good standard rule of thumb principle? Yes, Sean? Yeah. In this position, white's rook on A1 can be developed without having to move the rook on A1. If white says A captures on B3, then the white rook is developed, even though he has not moved. Make sense? Make sense? Okay. So, the clue is saying white should probably capture the knight with the A pawn and not the C pawn. But then is the question, so what else is new? So you should look elsewhere on the board. You might see something different. If you have a question or comment, please raise your hand. Yes, Jackson.
But he shouldn't do that with this guy.
With the C pawn? Okay.
Actually, he could do it with both. Because the queen would still miss at him. But it would still take this pawn right here.
I hope y'all heard what Jackson said. So yeah, white still could capture this. Knight's worth 3 points. So they could capture with the A pawn or the C pawn, and black could capture white's B2 pawn and try to cause problems in there. Raise your hand if you see something interesting on white's position against black. What do you notice in this position? If you want to say something, please raise your hand. Yes, Rebecca, I see your hand raised. What's on your mind?
I see the queen is pressuring on the black king.
Okay, white's got pressure against the black king. Black king's on G8. Black castle, obviously, on the king side. It looks, okay, let's look at this one. How many white chessmen seem to be putting pressure against the black king on the king side? Raise your hand. Count them up and raise your hand. Yes, Jackson.
Because he...
No. What was my question? One of the rules of this classroom is, please answer my question first before you say something else on your mind. Parker, do you have your hand raised? What's that? Give me a number. How many white chessmen are putting pressure on the black side, the black king side?
A lot.
Thank you for that number. Can someone take Parker's a lot and translate it for me into a number? Mark.
4.
Well, queen, 2 knights, rook, and plus this pawn on F4, so I think the answer is 5. And I said chessmen, not pieces. If I said pieces, the answer would be 4. Queen, 2 knights, and a rook, because pieces are kings, queens, bishops, knights, and rooks. They don't include pawns. I'm just using grandmaster terminology. So I said chessmen, that includes pawns. Looks like there's 5. White's got 5. Bobby Fischer did this on purpose. Bobby Fischer is going after the enemy king. So, does he care too much, white? Does white care too much about the black knight on B3? Way on the other side of the board on the queen side. No, queen side is A, B, C, D. King side is E, F, G, and H. So, I bet you that Bobby Fischer did not even capture that knight with a pawn for the rest of the game. With that in mind, well, see, Joanne, I see your hand raised. You must have some other comment. What's on your mind?
No comment, then.
You got the move. Raise your hand if you believe you got the move. About half the class, a little bit more. Raise your hand if you think you got the move. Okay. Sean, what do you think? What's the move?
Queen to G4.
Queen to what? G4. Back the queen to G4?
Check.
Check. The king will probably go to the corner, then what? It's hard to see after that, right? I agree with Sean that you should look for all checks on the board. Mr. Patterson's categories of moves is Category 1 check moves, category 2 capture moves, category 3 new attacking moves. And look for all checks on the board before you make a decision. You know, be patient with chess, right? Chess should be teaching you how to be a patient person. All right, so that's possible, Sean. Okay, queen to g4 is a check, queen to g5 is a check, queen to g6 is a check. Some of those don't look too good to me. But queen g4, of those checks looks the best. All right, John, shh. Raise your hand if you see a different move. Jackson.
Wait, to take,
Now just tell me a good move. Just tell me a good move for white. With this clue in mind, what's a good move for white?
he could, take his pawn.
I see a lot of pawns on the board. White's got 6 pawns.
He could take the one, that's across from the queen, that's on 5-5.
That's on where? This one here?
No, the other one above.
What?
E5.
E5 is right here.
Oh.
That's a black pawn. That's black, Jefferson. Jackson, excuse me. This is white, even though it's kind of brown and yellow. But the brown pieces are meant to be the black pieces, and the yellow pieces are meant to be the white pieces, and we're looking for a white move, not a black move. Okay, we'll keep working. Keep looking at the chessboard and see if we see something else. I'll give you a clue. What I find interesting is these knights, right? You notice about this knight, I tell you what, I will give a class point right now if someone tells me something interesting about this white knight on e4 in relationship to black's position. Raise your hand if you see it. Mark.
You can check the king.
Right. This white knight on e4 is indirectly attacking the black king on g8. And you can turn an indirect attack into a direct attack with this move. But you would better want to do it at the right time. So 1 point for Mr. Mark. Thank you very much. So the white knight on e4 is indirect attack to the black king. And you think of it as a rectangle, right? A 3x5 rectangle, and the knight goes right into the middle of the rectangle. You've converted an indirect check into a direct check against the black king. You should look for those in your knight moves. Now back to the chess game. I don't suggest White do that right now. Maybe you'll do it later when he has more firepower on f6. F6 doesn't seem like a critical square to look at. Raise your hand if you suggest a better move. For White. Rebecca.
White pawn takes e5.
White pawn takes e5. To break this stuff up, that's kind of interesting, but I don't know. And it would be a capture, a category 2 capture move, so you got to consider it. But I would put that off to the side. What else could White do here? Jackson.
He could move his horse right here, and then that would be
okay,
check.
Right. And that's what we just said with
And
Mark.
this
Is
pawn.
that right? Maybe, yeah, right. That's what we're talking about with Mark. Mark was thinking about, well, I had to ask the class what was the night special in relation to the Black King. Can I have your attention, please? I hope I still have your permission to teach the chess class. The white knight could go to f6 and check, but I'm afraid the black bishop would simply capture. And white has traded a 3-point knight for a 1-point pawn just to get a check. Is it worth it?
Yeah.
It's worth it. Yes, it's worth it if there's a checkmate. It's hard to see a checkmate after that. But I do say, yeah, White should think about capture on f6 if White has enough firepower. Raise your hand and tell me how many White attackers does White have against f6? John? 1. And Black's got 1 defender. Tie goes to the defender in chess because the defender normally captures last. So White needs a second attacker. It might need a third attacker. It might be 3 attackers against this pawn on f6. Raise your hand if you see the move now. William.
Pawn takes pawn and e5.
Pawn takes pawn where?
e5.
Okay, we just mentioned that. Someone over here on this side, I thought mentioned that. We said you can break this stuff up, but just let the bishop come out. I wouldn't do that quite yet, but it is a category 2 move. You got to consider it. Category 1 moves are checks. Category 2 moves are captures, right? Category 3 new attacking moves, which are not checks or captures, are the hardest moves to see in chess. If you learn anything tonight, and your parents ask you what you learned in chess, that's one thing you can tell them. Category 3 new attacking moves, where you're not checking the enemy king, you're not capturing anything, those are the hardest moves to see in chess. So what with that in mind, you see a pretty strong category 3 move for white. Keep in mind, this is a difficulty of 4. This is a difficulty of 4. So what do you see? Raise your hand if you see it. Joanne.
Pawn to F5.
That is a category 3 move, but it's not quite right. How does that help put pressure on F6? Right? The Bishop Patterson clue is look at the knights and look at F6 and how can white get a second and a third attacker against F6. Because once white has 3 attackers against F6, I think it's bye-bye time for black. Black can check out. Right? He can check out of the hotel room. I think this game is pretty much over. So where can we get another attack? How can white get another attacker on F6? See, it's a good thing we're going over this, right? Because even our best chess players on the back wall here is having some difficulty. I'm glad we're going over this. If you know it, Josh, raise your hand.
Ooh, Mr. Cotter, Mr. Cotter.
Raise your hand if you see it. Please don't make a noise unless I call upon you.
I said that for recording.
I understand. I mean, it's like, hey, Mr. Catet.
Tail.
And it's
I'm not going to do
for
that.
Marcia.
I'm going to do that.
If you know, welcome back, Carter. All right, lady. I heard your voice, so I guess you got the answer.
She didn't
No?
raise her hand.
Yeah, make my hand, please.
No.
Make my hand,
She got
please.
that.
Raise your hand if you see it. Sean.
Queen to H.
You should get a point for that.
Queen.
There's no point.
Queen
Point for that.
to H6.
You should get a brownie point
That's
for
the
that.
Bobby Fischer route. Congratulations, Sean. That's very good playing on your chessboard. Everybody see it? Play Queen to H6 on your board, and I think Bruce Manafini gave that an exclamation point. This is not a category 1 check, not a category 2 capture move. This is a category, it's a very strong category 3 new attacking move without checking or capturing anything. Now the game continued. Well, everybody can see why. Raise your hand if somebody can explain in English. Don't tell me moves. I guess you tell me moves, but explain in English why this is such a strong category 3 move. Rebecca.
Because it brings, it attacks the knight and it puts another attacker on that pawn.
Move the queen to H6, attacks black's knight.
No, I meant rook.
Okay, rook's a nice look different.
Yeah.
Attacks the rook on F8. But that's the reason. And the pawn on F6, that's the only reason. What else does it do? Jackson.
So, it can, like, capture him, like, right here or right here. And then he could, go
I
like
can't
that.
get Jackson. Quiet, please.
And then he could go, like,
Well, we don't know what black's we don't know what black's going to do here. I'm just talking about the simply queen H6. Why is that an awesome move? No matter what black does. Why is queen H6 such an awesome move? Yes, Joanne in the corner.
It's preparing checkmate.
Right. Preparing checkmate on what square?
H1.
H1.
H7.
H7?
H7. Well, maybe. Okay. Yeah. I mean, H7. But wasn't the queen already attacking H7?
Yeah.
The queen was already. I think it's more like G7. I'll keep that rest there on G7, and that's finished the chess lesson. In the actual game, that's what Bobby Fischer did. Black played E captures F4 because he's trying to get his queen to guard G7. In every chess position, I propose to you that in every chess position there's at least one key square. And G7 looks like the square to me. So the black queen to guard G7 has got to get some pawns out of the way. Right? That's one way to do it. E captures on F7. Okay. White's next move, which is just about as critical as queen to H6, was White's next move. Raise your hand, please. Parker. Okay, tell me the move.
This is a terrible move. Okay, move your DH6 queen to the F4 square.
Oh, quick, I just spawn here.
Yeah, do it.
Just do it.
Just do it.
That's kind of interesting.
It's horrible.
Okay, please no comments, please. That's interesting, but Bobby Fischer found a different move that relates to the queen. So sometimes we can find the right piece and you're not putting on the right square, or we got the right piece and attacking the right square, and we need more reinforcements attacking that square. If I'm saying that G7 is the right square, how can white add a second? Well, let's back up for a moment. What stops white from just moving queen to G7 now? Just tell me.
Death.
Death. Black will simply capture it. So it seems to me, if I'm playing white, I need a second attacker attacking G7 so we can threaten queen to G7 checkmate. So how does white do that? William.
Knight to H5.
Yes. Knight to H5. And let me shake your hand on that one. Very good. Knight to H5. Right. Now white's really going to threaten white queen to G7. Black can wake up and smell the coffee. So black needs to get this F pawn out of the way, right? So he moves pawn to F5. Now his black queen is guarding G7. What does white do now? He does not put the queen on G7. Maybe he can chase the black queen away. Right? Perhaps he can chase the black queen away. What's one way white can do that? Sean?
Well, I suggested just blocking.
Why does white want to block anything? White wants to go for checkmate. It's white's move, right? Black moved his pawn from F6 to F5, so the black queen can guard G7 looking for a white move. Raise your hand if you see the white move. Don't see it anymore, huh? Mark, what do you see?
Rook to D1.
John, please.
Either rook to D1 or
Okay, yeah, so my Fisher chose this rook on A1. I guess it was under attack by the black knight.
Oh, yeah.
But he didn't want to waste time capturing this knight right now. This is on the king hunt. White's on the king hunt. Not a knight hunt, but the king hunt. Knight's worth about 3 points in most Grandmaster textbooks, Grandmaster theory books. The king's worth the entire game. Jackson and I had a little conversation about that earlier. So rook on A to D1, attacking the queen, which is the only piece that's keeping white from getting checkmate on G7 by the white queen, right? So rook on A to D1, attacking the queen. The black queen's got to keep an eye on G7, right? In order to protect everything. Black moves his queen back to E5 in the center of the board, keeping an eye on this time, but mainly keeping that eye on this key square. Now, what move would you play here for white? The game pretty much plays itself now. Once you see the key square and know what white's doing, white's hunting the black king. So what's the natural move for white now? And notice, the other key square was F6 we were talking about. Notice, white's got 3 attackers on F6. When in the original position, he only had 1 attacker on F6. He's got 3 now. So what move kind of screams out to you? Raise your hand, please. John.
Knight F6.
Which one?
E.
Yeah, knight on E, which is not the one guarding G7. This knight is. So you got 2 knights getting F6. So keep this knight to guard G7 to get the checkmate there. Knight to F6, right? Right? Knight on E, knight on E, not on H, knight on E, checking the king, right? Right? Surely black says bishop captures that knight, correct? Protect the checkmate. It's all about going after this black king. Now what does white do? Raise your hand if you see it. Jackson.
It probably has something to do with the knight.
Okay, just tell me the move.
Oh.
Just tell me the move.
So the knight, it should be right here, and then it goes right here. And then the king takes the knight.
Yeah, that's too far. That's too far. Yeah. No, he's looking for this one move right here. In my position, your board looks a little different than mine. In my position, what is white's move? Raise your hand, please, if you see it. Sean.
Like the last night standing.
The last night, holy night, almost calm, almost bright.
F6, sorry.
Knight captures on F6. Right. Knight captures the bishop at F6. Check. Check. Right? Okay. I don't think the king wants to go to H8 because the queen would capture the rook on F8, right? So it looks like black doesn't have much of a choice. Josh, you see this? Kind of need the higher rated chess players to help out here. So what's black going to do here? Now we're switching a little bit. What's black going to do? Raise your hand if you see it. No too much noise. Raise your hand if you see it. Mark. Queen captures knight. It's sad but true. This actually happened. This is the actual Grandmaster tournament game in 1959 when Bobby Fischer was a teenager. I think it was like 15, 16 years old. So surely white says queen captures queen, right? nothing else on the board, and white doesn't have the firepower on G7, so I'll move the red star, and this is how the game finished. Black didn't really want to lose his knight, so he moved his knight to C5, but now raise your hand if you see a move for white, where white attacks two, is this correct? Yeah. White can do a maneuver that will eventually attack two undefended black chess pieces.
Oh.
What was the first move in that sequence? Sean?
I just thought of one. Queen to E7.
Yeah, white can move queen E7 and attack this knight, and attack the rook on F8 is guarded by the thinking. So can white, I appreciate you saying that, can white force the black king away from the rook and then move the queen to E7?
Oh, yeah.
Then white will be attacking two undefeated chessmen, the black rook on F8 and the black knight on C5. How does white do that? See, sometimes we can just find the sequence of moves by asking the right questions. Mark, what would you move here?
Probably knight to F3.
Oh, it's white's move.
White's move.
Rook to D8.
Well, rook to D8, push the pressure. Yeah, that's okay. That's all right. I'm sure Bobby Fischer thought about that, but keep in mind my clue. My clue is how can white push the black king away from the rook, then put the white queen on E7, like Sean is suggesting. But now the black rook on F8 would not be protected, and the black knight on C5 is already not protected. Black's going to lose something. How do we do that, William?
Queen to G5.
Queen to G5 check. Right, king to the corner. Now queen to E7, attacking both these two pieces unprotected. These black pieces are unprotected. Correct?
Oh, I know what.
Black's move. Black decides, well, okay, this knight's worth 3 points, maybe a little more because it's active here on the queen side. The black rook's worth 5 points. Can black defend this rook? Yes, he can. Move the bishop to away to A6, do something like that. So the white rook on A is protecting the black rook on A is protecting the black rook on F8. I hear noise back there. Okay, so now the rooks are at least talking to each other, and now white can't capture this rook freely because the other rook will get him, right? So that's what what black did, Paul Binko, actually used what he did in this position. And now it's white's move, it's obvious. Queen captures knight, we're running out of time, guys, so go ahead and play this out. Queen captures knight, very obvious what he did there. Black's move, bishop captures white's rook on F1, just trading off material. But I'll tell you what, I will let you raise your hand and tell me what white's, Bob Fischer's next move is right here, and black resigns. So, last move of the game is kind of obvious. Raise your hand if you see it. Jackson.
I was going to tell you what he should have done.
No. I know you're new to this chess class, and you actually can show me that after the lesson's over. It's okay. So keep that in your mind and show it to me after it's over. We're over time. We're spilling over to the advanced chess class time. So we got to end this lesson here. So keep what you got in mind, Jackson, and we can go over it when the class is over. What is white's last move here? Black looks over the board back in 1959. Black resigns because he's really got nothing to fight white off. What is white's last move? Last move of the game. John. The awesome move. Let's see if I can find it. Nope, can't find it. I can't find the move. Raise your hand if you see it. Rebecca.
Queen to E5.
Queen E5 would be check. King bounces over, or black blocks with F6. Man,
Just rook.
show me something that's very obvious. Mark.
Take the bloody bishop.
Take the bishop. Rook captures the bishop on F1. Black has no more minor pieces. This white queen and white rook, which is two black rooks, has overwhelming strength for white. Black resigns. Probably the best move on the board for him. Any questions? Okay, so I'm going to go over Jackson's idea. Everybody else can play chess games.